I have been to Paris a few times, but never actually left the airport. So, before attending the voiceover conference in Europe that is in a separate vlog, I decided to take a couple of days and pop into Paris, give myself a chance to adjust to the new time zone, which is 6 hours ahead of mine, and see what's what, specifically visiting the Eiffel Tower. I was staying in an Airbnb studio and decided to book a photographer in advance. The studio was in a suburb called Gentilly, but my host didn't really give me much information, just said that the metro was in walking distance. So in the same direction as the metro, I decided to pop into a little fast food joint for a bite to eat. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of this place, and I couldn't look it up because I spent actual euros and didn't swipe a card. On two separate occasions, I stopped at this mall area hoping that I could get into a museum that actually turned out not to be a museum. I think there was some kind of holy holiday called Ascension, so when I looked up things in Google, sometimes it would give me a note cautioning me that maybe the hours were not correct. So the first time I went to the museum, it was actually closed for Ascension, and then after that, I got in and it wasn't what I thought it would be, because it wasn't an actual hip-hop museum like I thought it would be. Europeans tend to have later eating times for their meals than Americans do, so as soon as some of these places opened, I was there. One of them was called Experimental Cocktail Club, where I opened 2 old Cubans. This was the first time that I discovered that a Cuban could actually be not just a person or a sandwich, but also a drink. I found the Experimental Cocktail Club from a recommendation in my travel group, El Camino Travel. They described it as a swanky cocktail lounge in the second arrondissement that serves beautiful craft cocktails made with rare spirits and ingredients from throughout France and the world. Think vintage cognacs and rye whiskeys, and unique liqueurs and syrups from around the globe. The vibe alludes to a speakeasy, with leather seating and moody, intimate lighting. Definitely a nice place to take your boo. After that, I went to this African restaurant called Babylone Bis, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. When I arrived, they had just opened, I believe it was 8 p.m., and nobody else was there except the people that worked there. And I don't know if there was some kind of miscommunication, but when I came in and sat down, they didn't give me a menu. So I was sitting there for a good 10 minutes or so, and all of the people were in view of me. It's not like they walked away somewhere, it was a big establishment, it wasn't. And so I started to walk out because I wasn't being served, and someone came after me and explained that they thought that I was with the group that was coming in when I was leaving. There was this large group of people. I don't know, they probably were from a church or something, a bunch of black seniors from somewhere. I want to say there were about 40 or 50 of them, and they filled the place when they came in, but I wasn't with them, I was alone. So anyway, I stayed, I had prawns, plantains, and rice, and if I had known the portions were this generous, I would have probably not ordered everything. The prawns and the rice were plenty, and everything was delicious. And at the end, a mother and daughter sat next to me, and I filmed whatever this was, which I'm never sorry. So I had a great experience last year when I booked an Airbnb photographer during my visit to Lisbon, Portugal. But the Paris photographer that I chose, it just didn't work really well. The photographer himself actually was great, and the person that met us and everything, but the person or persons who were working the actual Airbnb chat to talk about how things would go and what to do was a little bit lackluster. They didn't give the greatest customer service, I'll just say that. I ended up paying extra to get all of my photos, and at least half of those photos were dark, and some of them I even had my eyes closed, and they made me pay for those. around that rectangle, I noticed a lot of tourists lining up near boats. So I said, what the heck? If it's not too expensive, I'll take a boat tour. I love boat tours. I can't swim, but I love the water and I love riding on boats. So here we go. The boat tour in Paris was pretty inexpensive, maybe like 20 euros or so.
Was the son of Alexander, and he was also the last Russian expedition universelle. And the son was considered by our French president of the time. And on the left, we have a building that looks like a Greek temple. Actually, this is a National Assembly. It was built in the 18th